Hey, what's happening? Daryl P here, aka Artist and Recovery, and I'm out for my everyday morning walk here in Bristol, Connecticut, before 5 a.m. and another beautiful morning here, and another beautiful summer morning. And I'm not going to do a video every day, but something happened this morning, and I wish I had a constant camera on, so I didn't have to relay this describe it in words. I wish I could show you guys a video of what happened. Okay, so I go for this walk every morning, and I'll be honest, a lot of times my family or people in the building I live in have said, Daryl, aren't you worried? Aren't you kind of scared going for a walk, in the dark? And it's light out now, but in the winter, my whole walk is in the complete dark. And they ask me, aren't you, scared of going for a walk in the dark? And this is the mindset I have, is I'm going to do what I'm going to do. And I'm going to live my life, and whatever happens, happens. There's usually homeless people that sleep there. I just remembered they're not there today. I don't want to wake them up. Okay, I'm going to live my life. I'm not going to try to attempt to avoid situations. I'm not going to live my life like that, because I think the more you do that, the more you're just going to be constantly running and hiding. And I refuse to do that. So this morning, I leave my building, and it's a gated community. It's a fenced in. So I type the number into the code, and I open the fence. I walk out, and it's a dark, deserted parking lot that I go into. It's on North Main Street here in Bristol. Behind, they have a new Puerto Rican restaurant on North Main, down by the new medical building, kind of down by the bus stop at the end of North Main, by the park. And I hear a lot of voices. I'm walking through the dark parking lot. There's a vape store, laundromat there. And I hear a lot of loud voices. And I look up and I realize that there's about 6 or 7, at least, young people sitting like on the steps of the new restaurant. Of course, everything's closed. There's nobody around except me and them. And I could hear them a block away laughing, So, I got to be honest. My adrenaline starts pumping. It's just me. And it's like 6, 7, young people, and I don't know if they've been drinking or what they, I don't know how they're going to react to me. So it goes through my mind really quick, because I could turn off and go down an alley really easy and avoid the whole thing. I could easily just turn, and nobody would ever be the wiser, and just cut out a piece of my walk. But I can't do that. I refuse to do that. And I'm glad. I'm glad I didn't do that. And it's not for reasons you guys might guess. Like, I don't think I'm a tough guy or anything. It turned out way better than I thought. And I'm glad I did it. Okay, so I keep walking, right? And this is where it gets a little tense. And I see there's 3 or 4, there's like 2 or 3 women. They're mixed white and black. I don't know if, I always say that. I don't know if that's right to say or not, but there's probably about 3 or 4 black people and two or 3 white Puerto Rican people. 2 or 3 women, about 4 guys, all in their late teens, early 20s, and me, almost 60 years old. And I see the ones facing me, see me coming out of the dark, and they just stare. And then pretty soon, I'm about 20 feet away, and they all get quiet, and all the heads turn around. All right, so now I'm walking up, and it's completely silent, and all 6 or 7 of them are just staring at me. Right? So at first I'm trying to have my usual kind of, tough look, like what, and I look up and I look over, and I just have to start laughing because all 6 or 7 of them are just staring at me. So I kind of laugh, and I go, hey, what's up? And I just laugh because it's a weird situation. And that breaks the ice. And one of the guys says, hey, good morning. And everyone says, yeah, good morning. And that was it. I walk a little more, and they see, and it goes through my head. It occurs to me after. They thought I was coming up looking for a confrontation. They probably thought I was going to hassle them for sitting there making noise, because there's apartments near there. They probably thought, I was coming out of the dark. I was walking straight towards them. And sometimes people mistake. I got my phone. I don't know. Maybe people mistake that. Maybe they think I'm some kind of rent-a-cop or something. That's just my workout stuff and my phone. That's all that is. Right. So, to them, I probably looked like I was going to hassle them. And to me, I thought they might hassle me. Neither one, man. So I'm walking across the street and they're just laughing. They go back about their business. I might have heard, I'm trying to listen to what they're saying, and I might have heard white guy, but it was nothing, it was cool. I think we all kind of laughed because it was just a weird situation where I walked out of the dark, and I'm glad I did this because, it feels so much better just walking and seeing that everybody's just doing their own thing. And the majority of people are good. It's not always going to be the way things turn out. Sometimes it could turn out a lot different. But, the majority of the time I don't think it does. And now I'm glad I see that. I think he's dying over there. And, so I almost thought about going back. I wanted to record my Street Rhymes video. And before I started, I was like, geez, maybe I can go back and tell them I have a YouTube channel and ask them if, is there anything on your mind? I'd love to make a YouTube video with you guys in it. So I'm contemplating this, and I'm picturing myself walking back up to them. And I'm like, nah, dude, you might be pushing it a little too far, I mean, they're sitting there, they're talking. I think back 40 freaking years ago, when I can't believe it was 40 years ago, when I was 19, and I was doing that same exact thing. And if some older dude walked by, cool. But if he walked back and, started asking to film me and stuff, I don't know how I would have reacted. Don't want to push my luck. But anyway, Bristol's a great town. I've been here for 4 years. I got nothing bad to say about it. The building, the way the new construction's going up. It's a beautiful city. You look around here, I don't see any graffiti. None. And this is an industrial complex right here that I just turned onto. None. Maybe one tiny little bit right there. That's about it. It's a great city. No garbage. All cities have their bad points, but it's a great city to be clean and sober in. Recovery is possible. Have a great weekend.